Thank you, James. I'm so happy to be back. This is part two. If you didn't join me for part one, please go ahead and watch the recording. Again, this is gaining clarity on your purpose through reflection and distillation. And if you want to access my presentation slides, you can do so at tinyurl.com/gaining clarity 2. And we're also going to put it into the chat so you have the opportunity to get my slides because I have links embedded for additional information to connect with me and the like. So let's go. I hope you're ready. If you recall from part one, for those of you who joined me, part one, I ended talking about working at Africa Tikkun as Africa Tikkun USA CEO. I did that for about 4 years between 2014 and 2018. And during that period of time, I had an opportunity to meet a lot of incredible young people. These are some of the young people I met from South Africa who were beneficiaries of the organization that I worked for. And while I loved everybody who I met, I felt that it was really incredible to meet incredible leaders who were supportive of the work that we did, companies that really wanted to jump in and help us, and in different groups. What I recognized that really resonated the most were these people, the young people, having an opportunity to take them to Condé Nast, to expose them to the business of publishing, and hearing from the leaders about what role that they could potentially play in the publishing industry, or taking them to UBS, where they got to learn about what traders do and what finance is all about, and understand, sit with traders and actually see how that works, so that, for kids whose parents don't even necessarily work in an office, aren't necessarily professionals, they have an opportunity to see themselves in an environment that otherwise would be very foreign for them. So taking away those barriers to such opportunities, giving them exposure on, in the media. Here I am in South Africa on South Africa Broadcasting Corporation News, with a young woman who was working on an initiative with us in one of South Africa's largest townships, on providing sort of porta potties or for people who live in homes that don't have any indoor plumbing, but there's a lot of problems that they face by not having them. So just really being able to give them voice, giving them opportunities, and really seeing the magnificence within them. That's what resonated the most for me out of this opportunity. And it's important that I ground that for you to see where I end up. But like I said, I was with Africa Tikkun for 4 years. I basically built an organization here in the US, and it was very challenging. There's a lot of work that you do. If you've ever created something, you know that that's tiring. So I got to a point in 2018 when I left, is that I was burnt out. I was ready for new challenges though, right? Because that's me. I'm always like, okay, what's the next thing that I want to do? And I really needed to fortify myself. So I decided that I kind of needed to have some time for myself. I had spent time building this new entity, really bringing a lot of energy to support the work we were doing, and expending a lot of energy. So it's time for me to take care of me. What did I do? I went ahead and I took a 1-year sabbatical. And if you might recall from my first presentation, these are the different things I did. I spent time working with a coach, and even spending time with my friends. I watched a lot of videos, a lot of kind of inspirational, motivational kinds of videos, and even just fun videos like Netflix and things like that. I listened to podcasts. I participated in retreats. I volunteered. I did a little bit of vacation. I read. I meditated. I prayed. But specifically, just give you some of the highlights of that incredible year is I started the year out at Kripalu, which is a retreat center in the Berkshire Mountains in Massachusetts, the northern part of the U.S. For those of you who are not familiar. And this is literally the view from my room. It was in the winter. And I spent 1 month there just kind of trying to kind of disconnect from everything. I actually even took a 3-month sabbatical away from social media. I kind of needed to make sure that I got that out of my system and really focus on myself. And so one of the things I did was work with my incredible coach, Izzy, who's an instructor there. And I worked with her for 6 months, and she really helped me to get that clarity that I needed around sort of who I am, what's important to me, what I think next things steps could look like for me, and what I wanted to accomplish. And one of the things she did that I thought was really, really important, she said, I want you to think about your home. And this is my home. This is actually how my home looked like normally, but she wanted me to look at my home and think about, like, go through all of my stuff, my things I had in storage, and just purge, get rid of all the documents I didn't need, and just really focus in on all the things I had created, all the wonderful stuff that I was excited about. And then also to think about creating an environment that was nurturing for me, because for 4 years I lived in this apartment, and actually half of the time I didn't even have furniture, because it was basically a closet for me. It was a place where I just had to sleep, but I was constantly traveling, so I was not focused on creating a nurturing environment. So what happened was I did that, and I created a home office, which is where I was able to start incubating ideas for what subsequently became my businesses. So it was really great being able to do that. So I want you to think about what that could be like for you. I also started really taking better care of myself, and here I am at an herb store. Not what you think. It's not a dispensary, but real herbs, just to kind of use them just to cleanse myself internally. I also then started taking care of plants, and this is my orchid. I love my orchid, and why this was important to me is because it gave me an opportunity to take care of something else, and it also meant that I had to be somewhere all the time. So I really appreciated that having that grounding and being able to take care of something. I also spoke at a middle school. Even though I was a sabbatical, I did do some speaking, and I did teach. But this was really fun, coming and spending some time with these 13, 14-year-old young kids, and really being able to share a little bit of my experience and give them a little bit of inspiration as they moved on to high school, the next level in their academic career. And I also went to speak to listen to other speakers, as in the case here, where I listened to the former vice chair of General Electric speaking about her leadership journey as a woman in a very major corporation, and what that looked like, and what her life moving forward was going to look like. I participated in a startup accelerator program in Denver, Colorado, called 10-10-10. Here it is. Here I am introducing myself to the audience, and I was doing a group hug. So you see the people behind me hugging, because I always like to hug. I feel it's good for us to hug and have that energy. And this is my cohort. These are the people that were in my cohort who I spent 2 weeks with, working on our individual initiatives. And then, of course, I also spent a lot of time writing and reflecting. So this is me having a nice smoothie and then kind of doing some journaling. And I relaxed. I live in an apartment or a building where we have a roof deck, and I never had actually used it. So I started using it, taking advantage of something I pay for, but never had really thought it was important. So I got to sort of just be comfortable with my space. And once I did that, I was rejuvenated. The energy was flowing, and we got to a point where COVID was about to start hitting, or just actually had hit. And I decided that I wanted to sort of now kind of re-enter, and just one day decided to start broadcasting on LinkedIn and streaming information for nonprofit organizations that I knew were going to be hit significantly by COVID in terms of their fundraising, in terms of their operations, and just started doing it and just started inviting people on. I think I did about 20 of them during a 6-month period. And that is actually what then helped me to start to really launch my next 2 ventures. So the impact of that was that I created the International Social Impact Institute and Liz Ngonzi Transforms, which are really, really looking to inspire, connect, and activate people seeking to transform the world. And we provide training, coaching, different conferences, and educational services to help them. And I'm going to share with you examples of some of those organizations we've helped. So we've partnered with Nelson Mandela University in South Africa. We also work with organizations such as Giving Tuesday with their Starling Collective, which is basically a fellowship program of 50 young leaders from around the world. We help them to understand how to tell their story, and then also to understand how to effectively start fundraising by developing mutually beneficial relationships with their supporters. I also just finished developing a course, a self-paced course for Candid, and it's on digital storytelling, how to engage and activate your supporters online for nonprofits. Also, through USAID Power Africa program, partnered with Tetra Tech to provide 3 women's associations in East Africa with sustainability training, that over a 12-week period, we build a sustainability plan or a fundraising and revenue generation plan that address everything from their mission all the way to just, identifying specific initiatives they're going to have funded and also going to execute. And then working with students at Cornell University to help them tell their story for impact and help them to understand how to effectively pursue opportunities, whether they may be academic or professional, that align with what their story is and their purpose. And then we have an upcoming Youth Giving Summit, which is going to be activating young people to help them to create their own social impact in this world. And so those are some of the examples of the things that we've been able to do through the Institute, and it's really, really been incredible. You can learn more about the Institute and Liz Ngonzi Transforms over there. What I learned is it's very important for us to be clear about what our core values are. So these are our core values at the Institute, and they're based on mine. So inclusivity, social justice, climate justice, integrity, excellence, and Ubuntu, right? So I go through a process to show you how you do that. And then you've got to also understand your purpose. So who are you here to serve, and who is it that and what is it that you're trying to help them accomplish? Like what is it you're here to do, right? Those are some things that are really, really fundamental things that you need to answer, because when you understand that, then that helps you to craft a story, to be able to basically say that this is who I am, this is what I bring into the world, this is why I exist, and then it helps you to then create an organization or a company that reflects that, or to even go work for an organization or company that reflects that, and then subsequently helps you attract your clients, your donors, your investors, suppliers, and vendors, and even your board members, employees, and volunteers who are aligned, right? Because what's really important that I got from all of this process I've gone through is that why efforts don't necessarily work as best as they can is because we're not really clear about what's important to us to begin with. And then what happens is that then we start working with people or in companies, organizations where we have that misalignment. And then that really, it really stunts our ability to execute at a very incredible level. So if you really want to be at your best, if you really want to be able to maximize your impact, it's important to have that alignment. And I walk you through how to do that. The way that I walk you through that is through my Liz Ngonzi Transforms ICAT coaching framework. And this is just a real high level overview. The first part is I give you some inspiration. So I help you to seek inspiration, realistically appraise like where you are in your life, right? To identify what your strengths are, your challenges and opportunities, and what are some of the external constraints that may impede on your ability to pursue those opportunities. Then we connect the dots by clarifying your values, your purpose, and your story. And then we set targeted goals to help you achieve your purpose. Once we do that, we then go ahead and start activating, start kind of, we've done all this planning. We now then update your news story and digital storytelling ecosystem. A very important place would be on your LinkedIn profile, and if you have a website, and then help you to connect with like-minded stakeholders to accomplish your goals. And you'll create a plan for doing so. And once you get to the transform section, we make sure that you execute at your plan, evaluate your results, and modify if you need to, and always pay it forward. And the pay it forward is a really important part of all of this, and that I learned from many years that I've been in business or I've worked. It's that if you focus on paying forward what you've received and really understand the importance of social capital, you will always have people who will support you. You will always have opportunity, because you're working with people and being a mutual support. So that's a very important thing. I'd like you to join me for Your Purpose Distilled, a masterclass. And I have a link to it so you can learn a lot more. I'm very excited about it. I've designed it for you and can't wait for you to join me. So please go ahead and check it out. And now that you've heard my story, I want you to make 3 commitments. I want each of you to reflect a key light bulb moment in your own life that can help you create an impact in the future. So what's that thing you're trying to do? Like there's something that we all have in our heart where like we've been trying to do, we don't dare say it, but let's think about that thing and maybe look at a moment that give you that clarity, because I want you to hold that. And then I want you to then join me for live Q&A sessions so that, I can answer some specific questions for you. And then I would like you to join me again for my masterclass, as I mentioned, where I will then help you take that impact that you're trying to create and really work from that light bulb moment to get you all the way through execution. So that's been my story. You've learned about my distillation process that I've gone to get to the point where I was able to develop the International Social Impact Institute and Liz Ngonzi Transforms. You've learned a little bit about the people and the organizations that we've helped to work on their purpose, to be able to tell their story, and to be able to create the ecosystem of support that they need to be able to amplify their impact. And I so thank you for joining me today. And I ask you to join me on LinkedIn if you can. Please connect with me and let me know what you got out of this session. And I want to definitely thank Alan and James for inviting me to be with you. This has been such an honor, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity. I want to thank my team, my executive advisor, Stuart Kane, and of course, Portia and Ludmilla, who helped to make all of this content the way it is. I deliver it, but they're the ones who helped me to create it. So I thank them. And of course, wherever you are in the world, I thank you in whichever language applies to you. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.